Just about 10 seconds. And it looks like we're live. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I know we're a couple minutes before the top of the hour here. Hope you'll forgive me for being early. We are still here at the Border States Summit. So if you were with us on the last little thing we did there, the Border States has been really neat, and I think we've got some guys coming on later to talk more about the event itself because it's kind of their baby. But it's really neat to see the 4 states. We've got Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, and Kansas, ADs, coaches, representatives here from schools from those 4 states. So it's really neat to see all of these guys and gals that are kind of coming to a central location to talk what makes them successful in their area, share ideas, network, pretty common football or AD convention clinic type environment, but now we're just combining 4 states, which generally isn't. It's usually just your state goes to one place. So that's been really neat. But enough about that. Ace Sports, if you're not in cahoots with Ace Sports yet, you should be. We just got done talking with Ryan Hughes. If you're listening later, that was last week's Thursday episode. But Ryan is the Oklahoma, Northwest Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, Montana, and New Mexico. I still remember them all. He is the representative for Ace Sports in those states. Does an amazing job. Is working to help little communities like you, wherever you're at. And I say little because there is no school too small. So it doesn't matter if you're a 1A school, if you're a Class B school, if you're 6A. Ace Sports has a package for you. We can find a screen, a board, internal. If you're baseball only, if you're basketball only school, we've got you covered. If football is your big guy, we've got you covered. So holler at Ace Sports. Mark Bridges, Ryan Hughes, those are the guys to talk to. All right. Let's get over to you, BJ. So first of all, it excites me because I got to work with you last year, but it was pretty condensed to like Friday nights when I could come on game night and a few conversations. But you were already someone that I greatly looked up to just watching the way that Bristow was handled and athletically. You probably don't get enough props for it, but from the outside looking in, everything looks amazing. And so if I didn't live 2 hours away, I 100% would just be there, just to be under guys like you. So congratulations on being a part of an admin that coaches want to work for. I think that you're doing great things there for the Purple Pirates.
Awesome.
So to that, how about an intro? Just kind of tell us about yourself and where you came from and what you're doing now. And yeah.
Okay, so I'm BJ McBride. I'm currently the AD at Bristow High School, or currently, I guess, entering year 2 as of July 1. I spent a few years teaching in the classroom, made the move into admin, and was there basically between Skytook and Bixby about 5-6 years, something like that, and then decided I needed to do something a little bit different and landed this gig at Bristow where I walked into an environment that has been nothing but supportive. It's a fantastic community to be involved with and work with, and someplace that I want to continue to grow our programs and our presence because we're growing and we're going there, and we want to move in the right direction. And so, taking things that I've learned and seen at other districts, even though they may be slightly bigger, because we are a 3A, 4A teetering school, and just trying to make the presence bigger, the community, just keep it going. In my first year, we created our, standard is the gold standard, which is grit, ownership, leadership, and discipline, and I just want to keep building on that.
Hey, that's a really neat one. And I just want to say, it sounds like you've been between a couple schools that have great administrative teams. That is not everyone.
Right.
Not everyone gets to go to work every day and be excited about the people they work with. So kudos to you for continuing that. But I guess just continue to be thankful because that's not always the case. But it sounds like Bristow's really got things going on.
Absolutely.
What drew you to the administrative side versus, were you a coach before?
So what drew me to the admin side, essentially, I was a teacher in the classroom at Union, and they had what was at the time called Leadership Union, which was a leadership cadre where we spent about 6-7 weeks-ish, give or take in the evenings, meeting with district leaders. We got to shadow different people in the district, and it was through that experience that I decided, okay, my next step is into admin, in the admin world. Because that's where I knew I could make a bigger impact and make a bigger difference than just being in the classroom. Not that there's anything against that or wrong with that, but I knew I needed to go somewhere higher and make a bigger impact.
Look, we're all built for different things, right? I think we all shine in different areas. Sometimes it's developing kids, sometimes it's being a coach, sometimes it's developing other adults or helping set that stage for them to be successful. So like, there's nothing wrong with either of those, right? Sitting in the classroom for 35 years, that's amazing. If you're constantly, helping kids and bettering their lives, more power to you. Sometimes our calling is to come up and help other teachers or coaches, athletic type personnel to be better. So once again, I think you're doing a really good job.
Appreciate that.
I have to admit that I'm a little connected to your program through your offensive coordinator for football. Cam has been a guy that I have enjoyed getting to know for the last 2 years. I think y'all landed the bag with him. I mean, he's a dude. I'm excited to see what Coach Sexton brings to the table this year. Talk to me about, like, you got that hiring process. You're going in, we see Coach Cole, his calling was somewhere else. He got pulled back a little bit early. I'm a good friend of Coach Cole as well. You got to go out and kind of cast the net. How was that this year?
So, I mean, Cole and Palmer both are the reason I'm at Bristow, because that's how I landed. That connection there, networking's never a bad thing, because obviously I worked with them both at Bixby. And, last year's program, which you were very well involved with, we were one play away.
Yeah, it's always one play.
One play away. And I feel like with the transition to Coach Sexton, it's been very seamless. I feel like as long as we can maintain the culture we had, we're going to be playing in December.
Yeah. It's an exciting time right now to be a Purple Pirate, right? Like lots of things going on. Some great athletes coming back, and of course the coach that Jake. We can't leave Jake out of the conversation, right? Like an absolute stud there too.
Absolutely,
y'all got the perfect staff.
It
is.
You
know what I mean?
It's perfect. I couldn't pick a better group of guys to work with just because they're phenomenal.
Was it difficult? And I'm going to preface this question, I guess. A couple of years ago, so me being a coach who's constantly watching the boards and seeing the movement going on in the state, when we had the 2A, 1A, Class B split, is that right? No coaches got fired, right? There was zero movement really on the. I think there was 35 coaches changed, and then you get into this year and we're at 70, 90, a bunch. I mean, every school has replaced their head coach. It feels like. So with a talent pool that I won't say it's depleted, but there's a lot of hooks in the water. How did that affect you and kind of going through this coaching change?
Honestly, I mean, this was my first experience as hiring coaches because I've hired teachers as being admin, but not specifically coaches. And it was an interesting process to be involved with. We had a solid pool. I mean, even the timing of the year, it was mid-year. So, yeah, that makes things a little more convoluted. But the pool we had was great. I mean, I couldn't pick a better set of people to interview.
Right.
It was a hard decision. And, it came down to we had our final group that the panel met with, and it was like, we really can't just pick one. They're all great in their own little ways. But I think I'm very pleased with how we're moving forward and looking forward to how we go.
Yeah. No, I think, I agree. I know some of the people in that room, so I think it was a really good pull that you got to apply for a job, which once again just speaks to what you guys are doing as an administrative team, right? If you're making a job that many people mid-year when they're not even really being told yet that they aren't going back or haven't had a chance to even consider, season was just over, right? They haven't had a chance to even really go back and fill out what last season was and do they need to move on. For y'all to get that kind of an applicant pool was pretty neat.
It was really cool.
Well, we'll kind of finish up here, and I know we touched on it a moment ago, but the current climate in Oklahoma with the transfer portal getting more finalized, I say portal. I guess it's a portal.
It is a portal.
It's our third year. We're going to our third or fourth year of it. So things are kind of getting shaken out. All the issues are getting worked out. Obviously, you're losing kids, possibly picking up some kids. How has that been as an administrator at the high school level where there's no real money's being exchanged, but you're having to recruit for your program, you have to sell your program. Kind of how has that been for you as especially a new athletic director?
So honestly, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, I never would have thought this would have made it to high school level. I never would have. I'm kind of shocked by it. I'm shocked by just how quickly things can move. In 1 minute you're going in this direction, and the next minute you're going in another. It's been kind of a whirlwind. Just for Bristow's sake and my own sake, I don't know what recruiting could look like because, I mean, we're a small town. We don't have all the resources available,
Right.
So it's going to be figuring out the best ways to get us out there, get us visible, whether that's through social media or, however we need to do that. But I think it's time all schools start thinking outside the box, because otherwise we're going to be behind the ship. And Bristow being the Purple Pirates, it's our ship, and we want to keep it going.
That's right. I know the NIL, of course, was approved as well. Is that something that y'all have tried to kind of dabble in at all as an athletic department, or is that is that the corner we have to start thinking around?
I think it's the corner we have to start thinking around, honestly.
Yeah, being a personal business owner, my wife and I have adaptable physical therapy there in Grove, Oklahoma, and we don't have anything going with Grove or anything like that.
Right.
But you start thinking about, I'm a football coach, I have my own business. Is there a way that we can sponsor a kid or sponsor a program? That's the thing in high schools. It's so weird because, look, we don't have, John Mateer coming from Washington State to our OU Sooners, right? That's not happening at my local high school. And if it is, how do I know that they're the quality that I can put on it? And then we already know what it does in the college locker rooms. It divides them, right? That's the big thing coming out of NIL right now. Can you even inject that into your high school locker room, or does everything have to be based on the 30, 50, 80 kid model? And how does that, where do we go?
Honestly, I don't know where we go from here. It's a learning curve, I think, for everybody. I mean, because, again, even a college locker room, you wouldn't expect it. Yeah. But $60 million or whatever to go play somewhere, how does that come down to the high school level? It's a whole new world.
Yeah. Someone's got to kind of take that first step. Someone's got to, make the errors that we'll all learn from. If that is going after a high profile, maybe pull one of these 6A backups down to the 2A level and go win a couple state championships, right? Yeah. Maybe that's how that works. Or maybe we screw it up and we completely swing and miss and we tear our locker room apart. But that will be the, kind of the blueprint moving forward that people can learn. I don't know who does it first. Who knows, right? I think it's something we have to start worrying about and getting ahead of. Sure.
Absolutely, because who knows where we're going to be in a year from now. Yeah. I mean, it's growing and it's not going away. So
right. Yeah, I don't know who the next thing or what the next thing is, but I believe that you guys will figure it out, because you've got the tutelage and the coaching staff and the administrative program to support you. I think that y'all are the ones that make it happen.
Awesome.
Well, BJ, man, I appreciate it. I know I promise not to keep you on here very long. You got a busy day yourself and trying to enjoy the festivities of the day. Any closing comments?
Thank you for having me. I mean, this is excited to see where the day goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you guys. Remember, if you're not doing something for your kids, if you're not celebrating the people you have, the staff you have, the administration you have with something, if you need a thing, Ace Sports is the way, right? We go out, we get a big video board put up, we put the kids on blast all the time, right? You're celebrating them every match, I don't know what soccer calls them, games, you got soccer, you've got band competitions, the cheerleading there's a ton of stuff you can use Ace Sports boards for. Indoors, outdoors, they create it all. So Ace Sports we're talking NIL, we're talking recruitment. That is a way, right? That is a way to get kids definitely looking, because you're going to be highlighting them and they want to be seen. So go check out acesports.com. You can email Mark Bridges at mark.bridges@acesports.com. Ryan Hughes is here, ryan.hughes, Hughes, at acesports.com. I think that's it. Appreciate you guys listening to another episode of the Coaching 101 podcast. We will see you probably around the top of the hour.